Divine greetings and gratitude, everyone. Welcome back to the Magic of Eden YouTube channel. If y'all are new here, my name is Nuna. I am the witch, author, and poet of the Royal House of Magic of Eden. Welcome to your new spiritual safe haven. And if y'all are returning, hey family, welcome back to our sacred garden. I'm always honored, excited, and elated to be in your presence. I know that my voice sounds a little bit raspy, and it's because it's currently about 7:30 something, going on 8 o'clock in the rising, and I wanted to come on here to give a quick message for us today. And I wanted to try to get this message out before the boys woke up, so I may not be talking as loud because I know that the boys are going to be getting up soon. But anyway, so basically I ended up meditating this rising, right? And the word that came through was transactional. And it's interesting because with that followed that in a world full of transactional relationships, or in a world full of transaction, be the love or be the soul or something like that came through. And it was interesting because I felt like these days, especially with the push of AI and with the push of things that come very quickly, and in a world where we prioritize efficiency with swiftness, and in a world where we prioritize how fast things are produced, I feel like we tend to kind of make things more transactional than what they need to be, because what we're looking for is, I need information, I need to pull something out of you for my sake, because within me, I don't feel at ease, I don't feel calm, I don't feel centered, I don't feel grounded, because I'm constantly in a space where I feel like I have to keep deviating away from my own soul and deviating away from what I know is actually really good for me in order to keep up with the pace of the world, because I don't want to be left behind. And I feel like Spirit is saying is that you don't have to feel like you're being left behind. You just have to understand that you don't have to submit to anyone else's standards, and you don't have to be productive for anyone else. And to be quite honest with you, I feel like what Spirit is saying is that we're missing right now is this relationship with the self, outside of what we can do for other people and outside of what they can do for us. And I feel that Spirit's message today is, in a world full of transactional relationships, be the soul. Like, I don't know why that's coming through that way, but I'm going to honor that. And I'm going to go ahead and just shuffle a few cards before the kids get up. The first cards that we have coming out here, the first card to come up, we have the Queen of Swords. And it's interesting that the Queen of Swords is the one coming through, because the Queen of Swords she cuts through all the BS, and she cuts through all of the unnecessary. And it's so interesting because even though the Queen of Swords is showing up here, I don't see her as being, or see it as being, transactional. What it is, though, is that you're cutting out everything that you feel is not full of life. Like, you're cutting out whatever it is that feels fake, that feels phony, that feels like it's not real. And you're cutting through that because your divine feminine sees that there's something that is missing. And so instead of you just simply accepting the first thing that comes at you, or accepting this transactional type of interaction, whether it be through a coworker or whether it be through a boss or a friend or whatever, you're cutting through that and you're calling it out for what it is, right? And I feel like some people may feel disappointed, especially because we have the Five of Cups here. But at the end of the day, what you're doing is, what Spirit is saying is that you're setting the standard, and you have to do that because you're no longer in a space where you want things to be transactional, like name a better term for the day, right? And I also feel like the reason why you're doing this is because people need to sit and think about the things that they're doing. But not only that, you have been thinking about what your life looks like and what your life has been and what your life will be. And what you're wanting is something that is long lasting, especially because we have the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles here. You want something that lasts. You don't want something that's just here for the meantime, and you're cutting through anything and everything that does not fit. And you're saying that I want something that is good for the heart, good for the soul, because you're tired. The fact that you have the Ten of Wands showing up here, it lets me know that you're just tired. Oh, I love that. You have Temperance here as well. You have the Knight of Wands here as well. And we also have the Emperor. You have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Knight of Wands. You have the Five of Wands. Spirit, are there any other cards that you have for us today? Yep, and the Lovers is here. Oh my goodness. I love that. And then you have the Hangman. Okay, and then there's this other card here. You have the Tower. Okay, so the fact that you have these cards out lets me know that it just basically just, it validates everything that we said, because what it feels like is that you know that you're someone who is powerful, and you know that you are wanting to attract people that are in their power, that know who they are, that know what they bring. But it doesn't mean that they have to be transactional about it. What it means is that they know that who they are is, they are soul. They are someone who has life. They are passionate. They are driven. They are ambitious, but they are disciplined. But not only that, you've learned along your journey, and you've learned the power of connection, and you learned the power of choice, and you learned how to make the right choices, if that makes sense. You're no longer just doing things for the sake of doing them. You're in a space where you're just like, I am going to be much more intentional, or I'm going to be very intentional with the type of relationships that I'm bringing in. This is where you start to really assert yourself and say that I do not want this. This is not good for me. I'm good. But it's not even just for your sake. You also understand that with your discernment, you know that you are also willing to reciprocate the energy as well. So you don't want to receive these type of transactional relationships, and you don't want these transactional type of interactions, and so you're not going to be that way either, right? Because you're not here to make a purchase. You're not here to sell something. You're here to be, right? And I feel like it is your essence and it is your wisdom that people are learning from right now. And the fact that you have the Temperance card here, and the fact that you have the, if you guys hear the cat in the background, she's in heat. I'm sorry about that. You also have the Hangman, the Lovers. You have the Knight of Wands, the Tower, the Ace of Wands, the Emperor card. You have the Five of Wands. And you have, I believe I already said the Temperance. And yeah. So essentially what this feels like is that you, in the midst of all this noise and in the midst of all this chaos, you are learning to lean into your own peace, and you are not allowing the disruption of the world and the quickness and the crumbling of this world defeat you. And that is something that is so monumental and amazing. And I feel like it's this type of attitude, or it's this type of energy that you bring, that the universe says, you know what, let me go ahead and bring all of this to this, to this individual, because they themselves have an unwavering heart, and they themselves are in love, and they allow themselves to love. And as a result of that, they themselves are creating a world where other people can then learn to lean into love as well. And it's interesting because I'm not talking about really just like romantic love. I'm talking about universal love. And I feel like it's one of these things where you are someone who is just so powerfully loving that other people can't help but to feel it. And so your presence of love and you being love and showing up in that capacity makes people rethink what they're doing. It's kind of like when I'm getting a vision of like someone like at work, and then everyone's like fighting, and they're just like yelling and like whatever, and then like this person is just sitting here at the table, just sitting. They've got their hands folded like in like this, and they've got it against their chest, and then people just kind of stop and they just kind of look, because there's a presence, like there's something that's stopping them dead in their tracks, and they're just like, what is this feeling that I'm getting? And then everyone turns around and they look at you, and they're just like, how are you so calm amidst all the chaos? It's because you understand past whatever illusion that they've got going on. They are fighting for something, but what they're fighting for is to be seen. They're fighting to feel. They're fighting to be recognized, to be seen, to be loved, to be known. And you're just sitting here like, you know what? I'm good where I'm at because I don't need that. You're aching for something, but what you're asking for through the wrong people. You're asking for it through the wrong individuals. If you want someone to see you, then you yourself must be peace. And I feel like that, to me, is just so beautiful, because Spirit is saying is that you don't have to submit or give into the chaos, because even that is a transaction. So Spirit is asking, like, what are you choosing to agree to? What are you agreeing to? Spirit wants you to understand that you have power, that you are powerful. Yes, all, like, not just by yourself, but there's something that you know that is leading you. There's a light that is leading you, and that light is you learning how to surrender, and you mastering this element of surrender. And I love that for you. And the reason why I do is because the hangman here and the lovers here, this is letting me know that you are seeing past it all, because you know truly what people are really wanting, but you're not fighting against it. Especially the fact that you have the Temperance card here. You are not fighting against it. In fact, you are allowing the love to seep through. You are allowing the light in. And that's what sets you apart. And that's why people stop in their tracks wondering, how do you do it? It's because you're learning within yourself that you don't have to fight. You don't have to you don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to fight, because you are Temperance. Because when people see you, when they feel you, right? When they feel your energy, they themselves become calm and they themselves surrender, because you have surrendered. And when you are operating in that capacity, the world cannot help but to shift. The universe cannot help but to kneel to that. And that is the message for you today. You don't have to fight. You don't have to go against yourself. You don't have to make that transaction. Do not let the chaos of this world disrupt your inner peace. Do not let the chaos of this world disrupt your inner peace. That is what the message is today. It doesn't matter whether it's your kids, whether it's your father, your mom, or your cousins, whoever it is. Do not let the chaos of this world disrupt your inner peace. And that is what Spirit is wanting you to know today. That is the message that Spirit has. And I love that for you, because you yourself are willing to fight. You are such an amazing leader. And people will catch on to that eventually. They will catch on to that. It is not anything that needs to be forced. It is not anything that needs to be immediately seen, because it will be felt before it is seen. They will feel you before they see you, and it is okay. And they may even reject you at first. But you know what? It is what it is. I don't know who needed to hear that, but that was the message. Spirit, is there anything else that you want to tell me before we go? Oh. You have the 9 of Pentacles. I love that. That is the last message here, guys. I love it. You have the 8 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles here. The fact that you have the 9 of Pentacles lets me know that everything that is going on in your life is teaching you that you don't have, what's going on in your life right now is teaching you that you don't have to be transactional for the sake of independence. And you don't have to be transactional to prove that you're strong, to prove that you can stand alone. You don't have a point to prove. You have nothing to prove. Like Spirit is saying, you have nothing to prove at all. At all. And so with that comes this understanding that with the 9 of Pentacles here is that you are someone that chooses to connect. You choose to connect. There's an independence about you. This is for whatever reason that this is you being fine alone. This is you. This is leisure. This is love. This is you being in the moment. This is you experiencing, not missing out on life, but rather immersing yourself into life, meditating with life, having fun with life, being playful, being flirty, right? Being flirtatious, being curious, being sensual, feeling the roses on your skin. This is you allowing yourself to immerse into life and not letting it pass you by. That's what this feels like. If you guys heard that, that's my tummy rumbling. My stomach is, I'm not my stomach, but I'm a little hungry, or my body is a little hungry, but I'm still fasting. So I'm gonna let my body do what it does. So that is what I'm feeling right now, and understand that, and overstand that this is worthwhile. Like, this is something that is meant to last, and you can call in things that are meant to last. And I know that this message is like the last of like that new moon in Taurus, and to be quite honest with you, I feel like one of the planets that is like the star of the show right now that has been is Uranus, and you don't know where your wealth is going to come from. But one thing that I will say is that the more that you tap into your ability to be unique in yourself and go against the crowd by simply being who you are amidst the chaos, that is where you'll reach your pot of gold, and that is where you'll receive that pot of gold. You have to be so unwavering and certain in your ability to be present with life, present with yourself, and present with your guides and spirit, that in itself is what sustains you, and that is what brings in the wealth. And that is the divine message of today. Thank you all for coming in and tuning into this message. I hope that it helped who it needed to, and I hope that it helped you along your journey and along your path. If y'all need anything from me, please feel free to visit me online over at thesunyounandpath.org, and you can also follow along with me on Instagram over at Magic of Eden. One thing that I'm going to say before I go is that if I were you, I would definitely be working with the Divine Wisdom and intentional oil. And the reason why is because with the planet Uranus going, doing what it's doing now, we are going to have to really rely on our own intuition and our own wisdom, and really tune in and remember the things that we've learned in life, because that is what we're going to be. That's what we're headed to do. That's what we're being called to do. I would 100% recommend us working with the Divine Wisdom Oil. As you can see, I have been working with it myself. And this one is a more masculine smelling one. I'm actually going to create a feminine smelling one for those that don't really like the masculine smell. And this is the oil that I have. So let me see if I can, let's see. Yeah, it's really hard to get this to focus. So I don't know about it really focusing. I think that might, there it is. Okay. Yep. This is the bottle of oil. And this is the oil that I have been using, which it really is so beautiful and it's so amazing. I switched to amber bottles like I don't know how long ago, but I may be switching out. I may be navigating between the amber bottles and the clear bottles. I'm not really sure yet. Anyway, I just wanted to show you guys this because yes, the oil is so amazing. I love you guys. Thank you for listening to this message. Thank you for listening to me ramble about my bottles. I love you guys, and I'll catch you on my next video.